have a full schedule, so let's call the meeting to order. As far as I know, Deb will be here, but I believe it's Ed's turn to fill in. So until Deb gets here, or if she doesn't get here, on for today. There is a quorum. Is there a motion to approve the minutes from October 6th?
So moved.
Second.
Okay.
I'll take it.
Until-
I'll take
here.
yours. Yeah.
Oh, okay. All in, any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Public comments.
I just want to make sure if the meetings for the commission or is that upstairs?
I'm sorry.
Yes, it's historic. Yeah.
Sorry, I was just like, all right. Hi, my name is Mary Ellen Basham. I reached out to you guys, I think Martha got back to me.
Yes.
And I have a co-partner, but she's not here yet. I am.
We're actually, this is rare for us, but we're about 3 minutes ahead of schedule. So if you want, we can wait for.
No, I didn't want to hold you up. She'd be fine with it. She kind of knows everything. Just not the best public speaker, so, but.
Come up and
Yeah,
sit if you're,
Here in a minute. I really want to.
there's Deb.
Do you mind if I just stay?
Yeah, that's
so
fine.
Yeah, please. Yeah, have a seat. Yeah.
Good morning. So I am Mary Ellen Basham. I am under the umbrella of the Duck River Garden Club right now. And so what we're trying to do, I'm gonna, here, do you want to take one of these and pass it along? We are trying to erect these memorials in the town. We have a couple different sites that we're thinking about. We're very early in the brainstorming project part of this. But a couple of the places we were thinking of having it are within your zoning district. And so what I wanted to know is, like, I just wanted to get an idea, one, of what you thought of the project, two, what the guidelines are, how would we have to go about to like get permission to do this project. And if it's, I don't know, even like something that's doable. The places that we were thinking about was Still Lane, that little corner there.
Corner, the first place it.
Where it splits.
Yeah, where it splits. I guess it's not really a corner.
The town green there.
Well, so that this is actually really great that this came up. So the town green we thought was always down here. Okay, so there too. Well, that's the second place that we were talking about.
Okay.
So both of the town greens, and then potentially in front of town hall. That's sort of been discussed with the selectmen. So it's just ideas. And so I know that we're also thinking perhaps of the cemetery. I talked with Tim Griswold, and you know, he's very open to it. I know that you guys are not, like, you don't have control over that area. And then maybe McCurdy Island. Oh my gosh, that's fine. I'm just telling, this is Barb. She's also the Duck River Garden Club here.
Please have a seat.
Sorry. And
What is McCurdy Island?
so it's off 156 right when you turn onto McCurdy Road, and it's that big island with all the native plantings on it, which is beautiful. Potentially that. So this program was started in 1944 by women of a garden club who wanted to honor the men and women of the war coming home. So what they did is they started to plant dogwood trees along a strip of the highway. So when the service members came back, they had something to sort of see. And then later on that turned into plaques. So this is called the Blue Star Memorial Highway Project. Typically, sometimes these markers can go on highways, or they can go on like state roads with no issues. But if they go into the town, like in a civic area, they have to go on like a civic property or or in the case of like the cemetery, where it's like a nonprofit and semi-private, not civic, it would have to get approved by the Garden Club Federation of Connecticut, who's the parent of this organization, of this project. And any site that we do, we would have to get permission for them, but strictly for that, because it's not considered civic. So this program has been around since 1944. It can only be done by garden clubs because that's the only like opportunity for this project to be enacted. And we're really excited about it, and we're really hoping that we can get it in place and have it the dedication ceremony at the 250th celebration. I've talked with Cheryl Porter about it, and she's happy to have it. So I guess we're coming to you just to get some information on if we did pick one of those sites, if you would consider it, and then what we would have to do to get it going.
So
Questions?
let me start off with a really brief description and ask follow-up questions. We have control. You do need approval for any structure located inside the historic district.
Mhm.
So the North Town Green is not in the historic district.
Oh, okay.
Exempted. So that would be
Oh.
strictly town approval. The 300 feet back from the middle of the road, at a part of that South Town Green is in the historic
Okay.
district. Sill Lane itself, the first house on the left is within the historic district. The rest of Sill Lane is not in the historic district.
Okay.
The other places you mentioned, Halls Road, is within the historic district up to 300 feet back from Lime Street.
Okay.
Bulk of Halls Road is not in the historic district.
Okay.
So if you did want, the town hall is in the historic district. So basically, if you wanted to think about something in the very easterly end of Halls Road, or the South Town Green, or the town hall, you would need to come to us. And we do have a procedure for granting so-called certificates of appropriation for structures which do include signs inside the historic district.
Great.
And, basically would need an advance notice of a couple weeks before one of our monthly.
Okay. Yeah, absolutely.
But the other thing I would say, and others may want to
Yeah.
chime in, is, we do have a few commemorative signs, if you will, in the historic district of the Lafayette sign and the Ludington suffragist sign. But those relate directly to one of the historic houses.
Yes.
Two different houses in the district.
Yeah. And I was trying to figure out, like, I was trying to tie this into where it could be best put related to what you just said. And I agree. Like, I was researching McCurdy, and I'm like, does he, like, what do we think about him? And just like trying to get a best feel for it. And I really didn't have much except for obviously the town hall, because it's Memorial Town Hall. So yes.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if you have enough to go on. I think in terms of approval, the town would, if it were a town green or town hall, it would have to go to that organization as the town selectmen, if you will, as well as to us.
Yes, for sure. I did talk with Martha about it a little bit, and she's very much for it. And again, this is very early in the planning stages. Like, we actually have to order the signs by like this week, because it takes 28 weeks for them to be made. So we wanted to catch you on this meeting, just to quickly shoot the idea around, but then also I guess what you're saying is that we would just need to fill out an application for whatever site we think it would be
Well-
great. And then what would happen after that?
Well, we would debate whether it's appropriate.
Okay.
And again, I don't know. We're leery about sign proliferation in the
Yes.
district, and that's why the signs that we have approved are specifically related to one of the buildings in the district.
Okay, great.
I'm speaking for myself
Yeah.
only. I think I'm repeating what he said, but yeah, the Old Lyme Town Green and Town Hall, there are quite a number of plaques, and I think it would look cluttered personally.
I also agree with that.
If you avoid those, you may not even have to come to us.
Okay. Did you want to say anything,
So-
Barb?
Do we who gets the final decision as to where it goes? That's what I just wanted to know.
Well, I think it would be, we would decide where we would want it, and then then if we said Sill Lane, just say they would have to approve it, and then the Federated Garden Club would be the ones to say, yes, you can have it there.
Okay.
So we just kind of wanted you guys to tell us if we did want it someplace, what we would have to do to going forward. And it sounds like we would have to fill out an application, and you guys would talk about it and approve it, and then we could.
If it's what the location is in this.
Right.
story.
Exactly.
We need the design.
Yes.
Maybe this is a design.
That's
I
the
don't know.
design, yeah,
Is it one or two signs, and the location, the specific location on the site
exactly.
would have to be reviewed and then discussed by the group here for
And then
appropriateness.
we
Yeah.
consider all sorts of details, the material, the size, the height, the
Right.
specific location.
Which we would give you. I guess this was just an initial meeting,
Right.
what do we need
That's
to
right.
do? So, but yes, this is exactly what it would look like. It would have both the blue and the gold star, and then we would have the native dogwood in the back to sort of represent how it all started. So, all right, well, thank you very much for your time. And we will be back.
Great.
Thank you.
And tell your friends about it, because it's going in somewhere.
This is quite attractive in the
It
right
is.
place.
Well,
Yeah,
right,
right,
It's a great idea.
that's right, right.
It's gonna
Okay,
be wonderful. Okay,
Um,
thank you.
co-chair's report is
So
very
that's
brief.
basically this.
yeah.
And
I just have two things to note on Thursday. I think I have this right, Martha. We're meeting with Elena. So Thursday, Martha and I are planning to meet with Elena Jalbert, who is a UConn student, pursuing a kind of local government internship project here, and she is available to help with ministerial details. We have document organization and other similar needs, and we thought it would be a good idea to take advantage of that help. My second note is just thanks to several people, Deanie again, who's already missed, shall we say. And thanks also to Ed and Russ, who attended the workshop on historic house preservation and demolition, and we'll get a brief update from them on the high points of what they learned later in this meeting. Next item on the agenda is vacancies on the district. We have lost both a co-chair and a member, that's Deanie, and we have the ability to fill vacancies and elect officers. We also have now a vacancy on the full-time commission. My thought is that today we should elect officers for the rest of the year, and then this is like an interim congressional fill-in. And then have the 2026 elections at their normal time. We do not get to name the person who will be filling the membership slot, the vacant slot. but we can make a recommendation to the selectmen who do fill vacancies. And my thought was that after whatever we do, I would just simply report to Martha and inform her of new officers and if they're elected today, and tell her that we would like a bit of time to see who, get the word out, see who may be interested in serving, filling the vacant slot.
John?
So,
May I add something?
sure.
My own recommendation is, I agree with you totally about the officers, but I think today we should, if we can, nominate someone to fill the permanent vacancy. In other words, Deanie's slot. And then we will need a new, if it's from someone from our group, we would need a new alternate member. And we would need more time to reflect on and collect resumes for possible alternates.
That's fine. But my point is we by naming someone, we can make a recommendation.
Yes.
But we can't officially
Oh, of
put
course.
that person in the slot. So thoughts,
Do alternates get to vote?
alternates vote if a regular member is not,
I mean, for the regular member.
no, the
Right.
nobody votes for nobody here votes for.
I understand.
member.
But I just like to nominate.
Okay, we can, well,
That's all I wanted.
Well, I think it's from my perspective, an alternate becoming a full member, it would be the person with the greatest length of time as an alternate. And I believe Ed fits that position as well. Would be my suggestion for the process, and I would support
I
that.
mean, and I think Ed would be terrific. He's been not only the longest serving alternate, but extraordinarily active
Absolutely.
as a participant. So I will take that as a consensus that we communicate to the Board of Selectmen that Ed would be certainly a valuable new full-time member of the commission.
Thank you for some support.
And
Okay.
I would like to nominate Russ as a co-chair to replace Deanie in that position as an officer. I would like to nominate him. I know that doesn't have to go to Martha. We get to vote
That's
on that.
correct.
So
That's correct.
for all the reasons that you have mentioned before, he's the longest serving. Well, I don't know if he's longer serving than Deb or not, but he's long serving and very active and makes huge contributions to the commission. So I recommend or nominate Russ to replace Deanie, which means John and Russ would be co-chair for the coming year.
Is there a second for that
I'll second.
motion? Deb seconds. Yeah, from my perspective, it's extraordinarily beneficial to have co-chairs. Some issues just need discussion, fashioning the agenda and on and on and on. So are there other comments, other discussion about the motion? All that smile, Russ.
Well,
You're about to be elected.
I know, I sincerely appreciate the nomination, and it's been an honor to work in the current capacity and to be able to work with John in continued capacity as a co-chair. I'm ready to take that on if you so choose, and I should abstain from this vote. So,
Do I get to vote as?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. No,
Yeah.
no, because Deb is here.
Who votes in place of Denny?
Oh, of course. I'm sorry. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
yes,
I'm deconscious. Yes, you are serving on the.
She is gone.
She did submit her resignation on, I
Yeah,
believe, November 5th. So that's when it became
Great.
official. Further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, motion carries unanimously with one abstention. Okay, Russ, we'll be in touch.
You gotta sit over there.
Oh, yeah, right.
Um, And then the last thing is, as you know, I'm not able to attend 3 meetings during the year. Russ is occasionally away on business. Um, the town ordinance about the Historic District Commission does refer to a vice chair. And I would love to see a vice chair whose main responsibility, really only formal responsibility, would be to chair a meeting in the case of on the rare occasions when Russ and I both are not here. This would help make the meeting official, I think. So
Well, I would nominate Deb for that position. And she's a-
That was my nomination
Yeah.
also.
Great.
She'd be great.
yeah, Deb also has been on this body for a while and knows the ropes. So
She's very experienced, very thoughtful, makes a huge contribution to the commission.
Second.
Second.
Oh, I'm sorry. We had a
Carolyn seconds.
Carolyn
Yeah,
second.
yeah.
Any discussion? Favor?
Aye.
I'm abstaining. Thank you. Thank you both. Okay. Let's move on to the 74 Lime Street issue. The driveway apron.
Hello, everybody.
So we have a updated plan for the driveway based on what we discussed in the last meeting. The idea is to have a chip seal surface lined with granite Belgian blocks. I don't know if you guys seen the plan.
Yeah.
The idea is to use the Belgian blocks up to the sidewalk. The permit that we received for the driveway apron requires a 16-foot at least start of the apron, I believe. And I'm not sure if it can taper. If it can taper, it would be nice to start tapering it a little earlier than the sidewalk, but it's drawn for the full 16 feet to the sidewalk. And then it starts to taper down to the double track. The idea is to use the same, it's like a 3/8 minus gray, like a pea gravel on the surface here that's impregnated into the surface. And then it would go to loose stone of the same type and color on the double track all the way to the house.
How wide is the driveway that you wanted, that it would taper down?
Where it would continue on, it is about 10 feet. And that allows for the each double track to be about 3 feet. With a 3 or 4 feet with a strip in the middle.
And would you still have the flare out nearest to the house, a slight curvature outward if it were to taper down?
I believe we'd keep this flare at the end just for ease of, entering.
Turning, yeah, turning in,
Turning.
And the middle strip is grass, right?
Yes.
Okay.
And we've approved the
Right.
chip seal on the prior projects. Yeah.
Um, I notice on the design you have reinstall an antique fence.
That is the metal fence that's there that we had to take down for construction, but
Okay, so you're just using the exact.
same, yeah. And try to get it back in place the best we can. It's become quite brittle in its older age, so we get some new supports made and get it back in place up to the each side of the driveway.
And then my last question has to do with the height of the blocks.
I think as we discussed last time, I think the blocks would be, typically they're 2-3 inches above the surface, but as we got to the sidewalk, I think we'd have to taper them down to even so that it didn't present a tripping hazard either side of the sidewalk there.
The drawing doesn't show the blocks on the, beyond the sidewalk toward the road, is that right? So you said
Yes.
tapering down just to the sidewalk.
Just to the sidewalk, and then beyond that would be still some chip seal, but tapering to a loose gravel.
One basic question, is this the property line or?
That is the property line this was taken off of the survey.
And does the fence need to be on the property line, I guess is the
So
question.
the existing fence is all off, like these are the existing marks as per survey of where the fence posts actually were.
I see.
So
It's on the town property
it is from almost all the way
all the way down.
down, and then it returns with a few sections onto her property.
I'm just trying to get a picture of what you would prefer with the tapering. You have the blocks line up.
I think
I mean, sort of angle in a bit more.
ideally, I think we would angle the blocks in a bit more to start this taper sooner, so it wasn't
Clean off.
quite as wide at the sidewalk.
In one line, yeah.
And that's a question for the road department.
And so the 16 feet is measured where?
That is at the entrance. So
Right at the entrance.
this is actually drawn the whole apron at 16 feet. So this flare would make it closer to 17 feet out on the end.
You mean at the road?
At the road where it meets the road. And there's also the curb at play there too, because that's the asphalt curb would end up being cut. And then you'd meet up with it with the two end pieces of cobblestone.
When you replace the sidewalk, will you replace it with an appropriately reinforced sidewalk so it doesn't crack the way?
Yes. Whatever the town wants for.
Oh, if vehicles are gonna be going over it, we've seen the construction has caused the sidewalk to crack.
Yeah, so whatever sections are damaged, we'll replace, but with reinforcement for vehicle.
Hey, other discussion. If we want to okay a tapering, we should note that and note also the stipulation on the reinforced sidewalk.
Just one more question regarding beyond the sidewalk towards the driveway. Would you do the Belgian block from here to there, or is there shrubbery or something in the way?
The landscaping, there were some of the that front yew hedge. We replanted up to the edge of the driveway there.
Okay.
So that I think would act as the kind of the edge of driveway on that side. And then over here, it's going to be pretty close to this fence posts. So
Okay,
the idea is to have that, and almost these two fence posts acting as the, essentially columns as you go into the driveway space. So I think the idea was once you get past the sidewalk, it then becomes a little less formal. It becomes more of the, double track.
what's the distance between the sidewalk to where the actual, the pea stone would start?
Now, the stone is gonna, am I right? You're gonna have the same type of stone
Yes,
here as you do. on the
yes,
drive.
both sides.
But I'm saying this distance of chip seal.
That to the property line is about 3 or 4 feet.
Ready for
Yes.
motion?
Yes.
I move that we approve the request as written with the stipulation that the concrete sidewalk replacement be reinforced and the blocks, the Belgian stone, be tapered down appropriately in a smooth line to the sidewalk.
I'll second.
Well, smooth line. I don't know how to phrase it, but
Continuous, maybe?
yeah, so that
Continuous
the visual sight line is continuous from the Belgian block to the edge of the driveway that's on the west side of the sidewalk.
Right, because you said it would be tapered, so
Yes,
somebody
so
wouldn't walk by and.
I
hit
guess
the
you could
edge.
almost say the elevation will meet the elevation of the sidewalk at a taper.
And could we also add as a stipulation that the Belgian blocks be no higher than what? An inch or two?
I think anything, over an inch is reasonable for retainment, I think, with the Belgian block. So I'd say you could say no more than 2 inches, no less than an inch.
You're talking something like that.
That would be ideal if the
Just to show you, maybe.
the town allows that.
Right.
I'm sorry, what do you, oh, I see.
It's a
Yes.
continuous
Yeah,
line,
yeah,
a
yeah.
continuous line. Yeah.
That's what I had in
Yeah.
in mind.
Right.
Yes, obviously, if the town has different requirements.
Yeah.
We can't do anything about that.
But I think visually,
From our perspective, so this is a visualization of the continuous line.
Yes.
The only thing about the 1 inch is we need to be
at the sidewalk.
at the sidewalk. It needs to be flush with the
So I
sidewalk.
guess you could say no more than 2
2
inches.
inches, yeah, flush at the sidewalk, no more than 2 inches.
That works.
Okay, Martha, you got that? Stipulations, approved with the stipulations about the tapering, so we have a continuous sight line. Stipulation about the Belgian blocks being between 1 and, what, should we just say no higher?
Flush at the
Flush.
sidewalk,
And-
no greater than 2 inches above the chip seal.
And apart from the block, you might.
And it's also,
Flush to the ground level at the sidewalk, and then no greater than 2 inches above
Right.
the ground level elsewhere.
I would say flush at the sidewalk, top of sidewalk. Because the grade may be, I don't know what the concrete is on the sidewalk, so.
The only spot that may pose a problem is at the curb, because I think the curb's about 4 inches tall.
Right.
So I don't know if we want the Belgian block to match the height of the curb and then taper to the sidewalk.
What will be done first? Was the sidewalk going to be done last?
I think the sidewalk will probably be done. I think it'll all kind of happen within, a week or so, just tearing everything out and then putting everything back together.
But how deep is your Belgian block?
It's an 8-inch.
It's an 8-inch block. Okay, so you could go to 4 inches there.
You
Yeah.
could.
Right.
Or you could taper the curbing down to it if it's, because you don't want,
You don't want a ridge.
the grass.
Well, that's something you're gonna hit too.
Yeah.
You know, so,
Yeah, it's not great for wheels.
yeah, exactly.
So I think it's fine to keep it low and then
Right.
taper the curbing into it.
That's what I would suggest, yeah. So the 2-inch above the top of the chip seal be maximum.
Okay. Those stipulations, reinforced sidewalk, Belgian block flush at the sidewalk and no greater than 2 inches elsewhere. And a tapered line of the Belgian block, and we'll, if they can take this, David, give it to Martha, and we'll attach that.
Sure.
To the approval.
That's right.
Did I
Yeah.
get it?
Yeah.
Them all?
That looks good.
Great.
All right.
So we had a motion,
I think it was
seconded.
If you want.
We have a motion, Deb seconded. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I,
Unanimous approval.
Great.
Great.
you.
Thank you, everybody.
We're getting there.
I don't know if you're gonna see us again. Housewarming.
Yeah.
Thanks so much for all your work.
Thanks,
I really
guys.
appreciate it.
Yeah.
All right. And the next item is the 6 Lime Street fencing.
Here.
Elizabeth here.
She's traveling. She's gonna try to call in.
Well, let's postpone that until she does call in.
Hello, I'm on the phone.
She's on the line.
On the phone. Okay, good.
Good morning.
Hi, Elizabeth.
Hi, how are you?
Fine, thank you. Well, we have your proposal for, and I guess it's really just on the picket fence. You're proposing 3 things. You're proposing a removal of part of the previous picket fence. Second, you're proposing a new end post with a post cap on the southerly end of the remaining part of the fence, and then you're proposing a new portion, do I have that correct, of the 6-foot cedar fence with a couple of gates?
Yes, just to clarify on the drawing, I'm proposing, I think it's about 208 feet of linear fence to replace the 6-foot dilapidated stockade style fence and make an L shape around the property. And within that fence, there's a gate that's big enough for the tree eyes to come through off of Ferry. So it's a swing gate. And then I'm adding a replacement gate off of my own driveway, which faces Lime Street. That's all cedar. It's all 6 feet tall. The fences have a curved top. The fence line itself is just straight horizontal. And it'll be a nice upgrade above the stockade style fencing, I think. And then with regard to the picket fence, I'm proposing adding a fence post to intentionally end the current fence where it stops on the Lime Street side of the house. A couple of years ago, I had a contractor out who was going to repair the remaining curved part of the picket fence, and he discovered it was rotted out and offered to take it away. So I agreed to that and decided that a shrub solution would probably be more attractive for the corner part of the property. I think that's all shown pretty clearly on the drawings. Do you have those with you?
Yeah, is the new cedar, the 6-foot high fence, does that extend any distance beyond the dilapidated fence?
Yes,
That-
I'm
that it's-
proposing to add, sorry, go ahead.
Hello?
I'm here, yeah. I'm proposing to add 2 panels of 6-foot high fence. The second panel would drop down to 4 feet, and that would extend the fence on the Ferry Road side to mask the view of what's become a pretty busy corner with parking and traffic, especially on the weekends.
And was there a picket fence in where those 2 new panels would be?
Yes, that was where the old picket fence that rotted out used to go from the end of the stockade fence to towards
All the way,
Water Street
all
and
the
then
way
turn
around.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Yeah, it's kind of a U-shaped or bow-shaped fence.
And are these pictures of taken elsewhere?
The one
The-
from Atlas
these pic-
Fence.
The
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a picture with the
It's the same
water.
fence.
That's just to give us an idea of what your fence would look like, correct?
Right.
That's correct.
Yeah.
I did also supply a photograph of the 4-foot tall driveway fence posts that match the picket fence. So I'm asking that the new fence
Yes.
post and the picket fence is exactly the same.
Okay.
But all the other photographs are from Atlas Fencing Company.
I mean, for future reference, also, Elizabeth, you may never face this issue again, but we've mentioned it on in respect to other applications too. You do need a C of A to remove any structure.
Yes, I didn't realize that until having a closer look this last round. I was really surprised. So apologies for the oversight.
Yeah. Any discussion, questions about this?
So just to be clear, you're replacing a fence post in the front.
No, it's a new fence.
New
Well,
fence.
in the front, is there a replacement of just a post with a cap?
No, it
An
used to be,
addition.
I think it used to be just the pickets going around. So that's a new pillar,
New end post.
a
Okay.
new end post.
So that's just on the left. So that's just
Right.
a new post there. And then otherwise on the side of the house, there was picket fence there
Yes,
that was
Yes.
removed? Okay.
And the height of that existing picket fence was what, 3 feet?
that's what it used to
I
look
think
like.
it's a little bit. I think it's a little bit taller than 3 feet.
Maybe 4?
What about around the
Yeah.
corner?
It
Because if you look at
Backside.
the
Well,
post is,
that's connected to,
post that's gonna be here.
this is.
I know, but this is a
plant
3-foot
covered, But
fence.
the a cedar fence.
Well,
And what she's proposing is the new cedar fence to replace the portion that was rotted out. There's a
Okay.
portion on the
East side.
northwest side that is remaining. But she's proposing to have the 6-foot new cedar come out 2 panels worth to replace part of
Right,
that westerly end of the picket fence.
I just wasn't clear that 96 foot was already existing stockade.
I think to the upper left, isn't there a note
So
to
it's
the,
gonna-
excuse me, upper right, isn't there a note saying reference to the existing fence?
Right here, but I
Oh,
didn't realize it
right
was
here.
in that corner
Yeah.
Yeah.
already.
Okay,
So,
that's
okay,
better.
that's fine.
No, there's an old fence that she's replacing.
That's along the road.
No,
You're back.
okay,
Sorry.
I'm sorry, Elizabeth, we're still trying to visualize this. On the
Ferry Street.
westerly edge
Right.
of the property, the new cedar fence, is that replacing an existing cedar fence?
Yes, it's
This
one
would-
that between me and the Voltings house on Ferry Road. you mean? Along the back
Well,
line of my property?
you have part of the fence line along Ferry Road, and then you've got a right angle along the westerly river side of the property.
Right.
And is there right now a cedar fence that you're replacing alongside, along that westerly edge of your property, as well as along Ferry Road?
Okay, I understand. I removed that section, I think about a year and a half ago, and I've been working with a landscape designer. So as it happens, quite a lot of deer come through, and it's gonna make more sense to put the fence back and to leave it open.
Okay.
Just, so on this drawing, the dark line represents what's going to be replaced and new. And then the dotted line, say on the western or the back of the property, that's already there and is not moving. Is that correct?
That's correct.
No,
Yeah.
Yes, that is
this end
correct.
is
That's gonna
there,
be-
but
yeah,
this has been
that's what I
taken
just-
down.
Yeah.
Okay.
So what I'd like to just understand the height of the proposed new fence along Ferry Road. Does it go to 32 and then 48 inches? Am I reading that right? Or is that the length of fence? All right, so what's the new height of the fence that goes along the Ferry Road side?
It's six
It's
feet. 6 feet, and then at
Tapers to 4.
this end, it
The
tapers like
32 that you're
this,
seeing is-
down to
yeah.
4 feet.
So it slopes. Go ahead, let me listen.
Yeah.
Okay, the
Please go ahead and
32
describe.
feet- Okay, the
It is 10
32
feet.
feet that you're seeing is from the corner of my property line with the Volpes to the gate. The 48
Right.
feet is from the gate to the existing end where I have a privet hedge in front of the stockade fence. And then you can see
Right.
there's a little bit of an extension there that then slopes down from 6 feet to 4 feet. The entire fence is 6 feet tall for most of it. And then there's this little graceful step down to, again, end it with intention and a post at the end.
I see.
There's a notation to the left of the last section that says 8 feet. What does that apply to the width of the gate?
No, that's linear feet for the fence. The gates that are shown on this map are on Ferry Road. There's a 10-foot wide gate.
Right.
The 2 5-foot panels are 6 feet tall. That's where a truck can come in to do the tree work. And then if you come over to the driveway side of my house, there's a 4-foot man gate that goes to the right of the garage.
Right next to the garage.
Yes,
That's the second
but this
gate.
must be 8 feet, the
That's the
start
opening.
section.
That's the opening, the 8 feet.
It's linear.
Or
it's
length
the
of-
linear
length,
feet,
yeah.
not the
Length.
height, yeah.
Right.
The
Yeah,
height is
it's-
6 foot
it's-
dropping
it's-
down to 4.
8 feet along the ground
Yeah.
of the tapered
Yeah,
portion.
I got it.
Okay,
Got it.
I think we've got a picture now.
Understand.
Elizabeth, just for
Thank you.
clarification, could you explain why the gate on the Ferry Road side needs to be 10 feet high at the top of the arch?
It's not 10
10
feet high, just to clarify, it's 10 feet wide. And the
Oh,
the
okay.
CAD drawings show very clearly, the top height of the curve is 6 feet.
Okay, thank
Yeah,
you.
yeah,
It
yeah,
has a-
that's right.
that's
I understand. Thank
10
you.
feet wide. Okay, thank you. Yeah, I'm trying to strike a balance of, a friendly face to the town and the church and everything and some privacy.
Right.
Right.
So I move we accept the proposal, the C of A as presented for the multiple changes and replacements that Elizabeth has requested.
I'll second.
My only suggestion is that we add a stipulation or require a second C of A application for the removal
Right.
of the picket fence and the removal of the dilapidated 6-foot high cedar fence.
Right. Good.
Is
Is that
there,
separate from, you mean, an entirely separate C of A application for one project?
Yeah,
I'm
well,
sorry, I'm
yeah,
confused.
it technically it should be, but I think if we can clarify it, Elizabeth, by just adding the stipulation that the existing C of A be amended to note that you also are seeking approval of the removal of the picket fence and the dilapidated 6-foot high cedar fence.
Okay. That means paperwork for me, or are you putting it into the resolution today?
Martha, do you know technically we need a separate C of A for removal?
I think you can include it on this.
I think it suffices, Elizabeth,
Yeah.
if we just add the stipulation today that the application includes an application for removal of the old fences as well as the new proposal. David, you had a question?
No.
So the removal is
That's
at the
appreciated.
corner, so there's not gonna be a fence at the corner, is that what I'm reading?
Yes.
Right.
And there was a picket fence extending down to about there that's
Right.
being removed,
Removed.
and all of that
Right,
was removed.
removed, right. Just trying to get a picture of what this looks like.
David, comment or question?
No.
Okay.
That's good.
Any further discussion?
It's all painted cedar,
Any
right?
comments from the
Weathered cedar.
audience?
Weathered.
Weathered on the.
Okay. All in favor of the motion?
Wait, 1 second.
Oh,
It's weathered cedar on the exterior? It's not a
side.
paint, it's not a
Side
paint,
facing the road.
the side facing the road, it's not a painted cedar?
is that correct,
It's weathered.
Elizabeth?
It's weathered
Weathered
cedar facing the road, and then I'm proposing to stain the gates and the interior hunter green.
So the visible part would be weathered cedar.
Yes, other than
Oh.
the two sets of gates.
But the dilapidated fence was also weathered cedar, correct?
Painted, right?
No, it was
Not
Oh,
painted, no.
along the back here, right? But this part was a painted picket,
So we have to.
Yeah.
yeah,
right? Are we okay with a weathered versus not color, but a weathered versus a painted fence along Ferry Road?
what I'm saying is it used to be that. I walked it every day.
On Ferry, it used to be, so.
It used to be pickets.
No, it was.
It was weathered cedar, but not for the full extent of what she's proposing to do here.
There was weathered cedar along here, along Ferry Road,
Yes, but it didn't come,
all the way.
yeah.
Okay. I'm okay with that.
Most of
All right.
it's behind a big privet hedge also.
Right. Yeah, and there's a hedge here too. Got it. Sorry. Thank you.
Are we okay with,
Okay.
with it being finished on the inside and weathered on the outside? Rather than weathered on both sides?
We don't really have a say on what's on the inside.
Inside,
because it's not visible.
I bet it is visible from Lime Street. You'd be looking across the picket fence, across the house. You would see
You're right.
the
You're
inside.
correct.
No, I guess you're
I
right.
think-
You're correct.
I think for sure you'd see it.
You're right.
My suggestion would be perhaps consider weathered on both sides, but that's a discussion for the group.
I personally don't have any objection to being stained on the inside. I think
Are we talking this versus this?
yes.
Right.
I would say the weather, the natural look.
What do you think, Russ?
It's kind of odd to have a fence painted on one side and not painted on the other. I mean,
I would like to add that stipulation if everyone,
it's either painted on both sides or it's weathered on both sides.
that's
You mean stained.
stated. I agree.
For staying.
All right, Elizabeth, are you hearing this?
Yeah,
consensus
I
that-
am hearing it. Yeah, I would be grateful if you could give me the link to the part of the Historic District Commission that has authority over color choices. I was not aware of that.
Finish, not color. It's finish.
Okay.
Yeah. Right.
So you have a strong preference for weathered finish rather than a stained finish?
Technically, we have a jurisdiction over whether material is painted or not, stained or not. So that's what we're debating.
Right.
I see. Okay. And so does this opinion or resolution apply to both the fence and the gates, or just the fence?
In other words, the gate is proposed to look as it would in the picture.
Wouldn't it be better to have it all consistent, one
Right.
material,
Right.
That's right.
inside and out, gate and fence?
That's, since you're seeing both sides,
Mhm.
it seems to me there ought to be one finish, whatever that finish is.
Right. And we have several photographs with different finishes. So what was the one that you were proposing?
I
With
was
the- with
proposing
the-
to do a green stain on the inside of the fence. So it
What
blends
is
in with the
green?
plant.
Planting on
Sorry?
the inside. Deb couldn't hear.
Couldn't hear what you said.
Just confirming you said a planting or a green along the inside of the
I would-
fence?
I was proposing to stain it hunter green, the inside of the fence, leave the
Okay,
street
stained it
facing
green.
side weathered, and then have the gates also stained green on both sides. I'm kind of excited about having green
Stained
gates.
green.
I'm not following. I'm
I
sorry.
know.
I heard stained green
With your green.
on the inside. And then the gate stained green on both sides is what,
That's correct.
And the stockade is natural.
Yes, weathered cedar.
whether it's either on the,
Oh.
just on the
only
exterior.
outside.
What does she want
Green
to
on the
stay
inside.
green
The inside of the fence.
of the 6-foot fence?
Yes,
Okay.
that's right. And
the gate.
and the gates. And-
Large gate, or
Yes,
both gates.
all gates is what I heard. Correct? All gates stained green?
That's correct.
And what about the back section, the section on the west side?
It'd be the same, I think.
It'd be the same.
Yeah,
So the same stain that you're proposing would be on the back side of the property as well as the side that faces Ferry Road?
Yes, it's a color that really helps the fence kind of disappear amongst the trees that I'm putting in.
yeah, she's putting a green. I see. I see the intent. The intent, I think the intent is to try to make
Blend.
it blend in on the inside, on the
The
interior. So she's
That's
gonna
right.
stain the interior green.
But the exterior of the two gates would be green.
That's correct. And then the balance of the fence would be unfinished weather. Right.
So, I'm sorry, Elizabeth, it's a little awkward. Us trying to
it's
get a
okay.
picture of this, but is on the 10-foot gate, are you proposing a green stain on the inside and a finished stain on the outside, or green stain to the whole gate, or weathered on the outside and green stain on the inside?
Great question. I'm proposing consistent Sherwin-Williams hunter green stain on the entire gate, both sides.
Entire gate.
On the entire
Both,
gate?
yeah, so the gates are green or stained, both sides. And then the inside of the fencing is stained green. Yeah, and the outside is.
Green is the outside. The fences have two different finishes and then the gates are a different finish than the outside of
The gate will be the same finish as the inside
The interior,
of the,
like,
of
so
the
when you're
fence,
open, there's continuity.
right?
But the gate facing Lime Street will also have the green stain,
Correct.
as well as the gate facing Ferry Road.
That's what I heard.
Right. That's correct.
Well, we should add to the motion, whatever it is, that we're happy with approving in terms of options for staining versus non-staining.
I just have one more question. If there's going to be this gate there, was there a gate there initially? Will there vehicles is there going to be a pad? Is there going to be some sort of pad if she's talking
And
about vehicles?
the next question, Elizabeth, is on the picture of the gate, the 10-foot gate. It shows a padding,
Like for vehicles?
I mean, for vehicles, are you proposing anything outside the gate to facilitate vehicle access? Are you proposing a pad as shown,
It's just a picture, but
as shown on the
No,
picture?
it's just ground with grass on it right now, which has worked out fine. And I think the fence company thinks two matching tubes into the ground, so the fence lock or anchoring drops into a metal tube that's sited in the ground. They're exactly the same as it is now, actually. There's no cement pad there.
No cement pad.
No cement.
So it's ground.
So
Okay.
you do not propose to have anything other than grass between the sidewalk and the gate,
That's right.
correct?
Correct.
If you're not going to be moving a vehicle through a 10-foot gate, may I ask what the function of a 10-foot gate is?
That gate is very useful for when Dartlet Tree comes in and does the tree work. It's the only way into the yard.
Okay,
It's not
All
a
right.
drive.
but there's no road cut or anything.
All right.
All right, folks, we need to have a motion that reflects not only the construction, but the
The
staining, the
finish.
finish.
first, I withdraw my previous motion so that we can have a new motion.
This is who seconded?
I did.
You would, okay with withdrawing the
Yes.
motion? Okay. New motion. Does anyone have a new motion? Well,
John, you're the.
we're ruminating, Elizabeth, sorry.
That's okay.
Do we have, let me ask you this question. Do we have precedent in the district with, and I'm pretty sure we do, with different colored gates and fences? In other words, where the gate is a different finish than a fence?
I can't remember any.
No?
I don't know that we have any similar
Where
gates.
it's, I mean, we have stone fences and wood gates, right? That's different.
Yeah.
How far from the road from Lime Street is the fence? Do you know, Elizabeth, roughly?
How far from the road, from the Lime Street Road?
Yes.
Well, the picket fence is.
Okay, I mean,
just in the
it's-
kind of normal- There's no
48.
cedar. I don't understand the question, actually.
Okay. So you're showing here, I mean, it looks as though the entire property is inside the historic district.
I think it is. I'm gonna check.
That's all we're double checking.
So John, just to move things along, because we can't spend any more time on this.
Right.
I'll restate the motion that I move we accept the C of A as presented with the stipulation that the fence and the gate be consistent with, in being constructed of weathered cedar on both sides.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
And with the stipulation that the application be amended to reflect the removal.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
The two fences.
Yeah.
Is there a second to Carolyn's motion? Deb
No.
seconds. David?
And just to clarify here, the the certificate of acceptance precludes her from staining any part of her fence. Is that as proposed? Is that correct?
Yes, if it's weathered, it's not stained.
Right.
Can we do that?
We can,
Use a bit of,
we can approve. We don't have control over colors. We do have control over whether something is to be finished or not.
Or she has the option. I would suggest a motion to stain the entire fence. So it's either unfinished or finished.
We would have to approve it either way.
But the motion as presented
Right.
calls for a totally unfinished fences and gates,
Inside and out.
inside and out.
okay, well, that's a compromise I can live with, and I think, you know, once it's up, if, we can see how it looks. And I'm sure there's always the option to come back with another C of A round if that's desirable.
Yeah,
can
yeah,
absolutely live with whether
I
them-
think, Elizabeth, that's sensible. If you want to come back and seek a modification of the C of A to ask that there be a finish, then that's would be your prerogative. And we'd have to consider that issue should the need arise.
Okay,
Okay, further discussion? All in favor?
I
Aye.
And who seconded that?
I did.
Deb.
Deb did,
Yeah.
okay,
Yeah.
thank you.
Okay, motion carries. Thank you, Elizabeth. Sorry it took a while to sort out, but I think we're all on the same page and we appreciate your help here.
oh, no, thank you very much, and I appreciate the committee's patience. I know your project has evolved, and I thank you.
Okay. Russ and Jill, Todd's proposed renovations and additions is next. We had a pretty thorough presentation last month preceding the formal application. And have things changed since last month?
Not much.
The good news is no, not. So what we presented last month is pretty much what you have in your packets, with the exception of two things. We had shown you two sconces on the porch, but found that there just wasn't enough room for them. So we moved it to a pendant light. It's still a Schofield historic light. It's an onion light, and that's been included in your drawings. And then the other thing we added, the original north wing of the house has had a balustrade, and we have pictures that we've included in here that shows what that looked like at one time. And we thought this would be a good time to go ahead and add it back. So we wanted to include it in this package. The original balustrade, or the one that's in the picture we showed, is a little bit ornate, which we're not sure if we can completely replicate. So we're showing a simpler design here with the idea that if we can pull off the original, we will, but otherwise we'll just keep with a simpler one. And outside of that, the plans are the same.
And the balustrade is, I mean, where is
That picture that you,
this one?
Right.
So just this.
yeah, that's all
The
we have.
intent is to replicate that, John. We just trying to make sure we can do it.
Okay.
What you're talking about
Yeah.
here
Right here,
Yeah.
that's the,
is the side view.
yes, yes. And so you can see in this rendering, it's just a simple picket, but the picture, if you look right here, right
Oh, yeah.
here,
Ooh,
there's the original,
yeah.
which is, I mean, there's snow on it, so it looks a little different than it would, but that's the only picture we have of it.
So on the elevation drawing, we show a balustrade in that location. It's just a simpler design. So it would, hopefully we can create that's in the photo. If not, it would be a simple picket balustrade.
And for the lamp, is that outside?
Well, that's not the
The
lamp.
pendant lamp?
Pendant lamp is shown in the drawing itself,
Oh,
right here. It's a traditional onion style. It's on your,
Very nice. And that's here.
that's right, that's correct. It's hanging on the porch of the new. Yeah, John, you can just get mine right there.
oh, okay.
Just an onion style. It's a Schofield light from their historic collection.
My only question was, on these, unit layouts, you've highlighted two different
Right.
options.
On the door.
Which goes where?
So
I mean, I assume one is for one door and one's for the other.
there's actually, go to the upstate. Can't remember what I did there. So the intent is to replicate or what's actually on the drawings. And what did I do? The upstate door. Is it forward?
Oh, it's this is it on.
Oh, yeah. So, one has a panel at the bottom
Yeah.
and the other one doesn't.
Right.
And that's a decision that we haven't.
Well, no.
What's the
we
intent?
Decided to do the all
Okay,
glass.
all glass. So it's the
And
one
that's
on the
what's in
left,
the drawing.
which is on the drawing. Yeah. At the time when I submitted this, I wasn't sure if we needed a kick panel at the bottom for the mudroom entry. And we did decide upon that. And so actually it's the one on the left that was highlighted.
MU 1034.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry about that.
All right.
Yeah. And that's actually shown in the main elevation, which we have right here. That's it, right.
Okay.
Yeah, with the trenches. Yeah.
Other comments?
Russ, I have a comment.
Yes.
I'm looking at the elevation drawings,
Yes.
and I'm still thinking about the balustrade,
Yeah.
which is quite visible from the street. And I know the historic photo is snow covered, but so I can't exactly see what the shape or structure or design of the earlier balustrade is. But the one, as you show it in the elevation,
Right.
looks quite modern to me and not as, and I would prefer to have, but I can't see the original design, so I don't know how much difference there is. But it does look a bit modern.
Right.
And I would prefer the more historic design of the balustrade if you can manage it.
I agree. We totally agree.
Yes, and I mean, and we're happy because we kind of threw this in last minute. We can certainly come back once we know exactly what we're doing
Okay.
so that we can have a discussion on that as
Thank
On the
well.
balustrade design.
Yeah,
that
the
would be
balustrade.
Valuable and
Yeah.
then we can get a clear picture of what you're posing.
I think that's a good idea and get your input too, because we want it to look great.
Yeah, of
Yeah.
course.
So
This,
let me move that we approve the application as submitted with the clarification that the door the options are resolved in favor of MU 1034.
As per the drawing.
With the stipulation that the approval does not include the balustrade,
Mhm.
but you can come back.
Right.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'd like to make that motion.
I made the motion,
Oh,
but
you made it. Okay. I thought you were calling for it. I second. Yes.
trying to save a few minutes. Okay, further discussion? Comments from the audience? All in favor? Aye. And motion carries, one abstention as well. Thank you.
Thank you.
This is how it's done. The presentation. I haven't done
Well, little birdie told me to do it that way. Thank you for your time.
This is, I know it's been a headache and a half dealing with the fire, but this is exciting.
Well, lemonade, right?
I hope you find it exciting.
Well, it is now that we're moving forward with this, but yeah, it's all good. Thank you.
Thanks.
John, just for future reference, when say Russ recuses himself, does Julie then step in to give us 5, or you still have a quorum?
We have a forum with three, so actually,
Yeah.
but 4 were voting.
Yes.
The Old Lyme Inn signs, the Kitchings have contacted Martha and will come in with a proposal or for a discussion, but they could not make this meeting. I do note in driving past that the sign on the fence has been removed and the sandwich board sign has been removed, at least for now. So I think that takes care of that concern. And museum is next.
Gonna try to plug into the screen here.
Oh, yeah.
And last.
Morning.
Peter,
What?
what?
We debated on bringing Joshua today. I've been at the museum for 66 weeks and he's owned this project for 64 of them. So, but I thought it was just 2 weeks training wheels were still on, so I would bring him just in case.
Yeah. Big changes. Joshua, I don't know whether to say congratulations or shame on you. Anyway.
It's bittersweet, no doubt.
Yeah, so. Well, I guess my main question, maybe we can start with this, is I don't see a clear indication of what you want us to do today. As we mentioned at the last meeting, we do not have jurisdiction over anything outside of the district. Your application form checks that the type of construction is a commercial structure. My understanding is that structure is not in the historic district.
I think that's right. When we sort of met with Martha and Eric, the idea was that the materials should at the very least come to you for sort of your awareness and review. And if there's any questions that we could and should answer, then we would. But I think that that's mostly right. You know, we're trying to, in 2 phases, we're trying to build extensions or expansions to the museum that sort of help it architecturally and visually keep up with its sort of reputation and stature. And we feel as though this does that, while it also makes sure that the things that are so important to the town are preserved. You know, these complement rather than really compete with the mansion, but they give us really important and much needed expansion space. We have no real ability to host more than 20 people at a time. You know, additional galleries to interpret or reinterpret
the landscape and make it a bit more agrarian instead of a parking lot, which it currently is. Those are the things we wanted you to sort of be aware of, and if you had questions, we would be here to answer them.
Well, so when it comes time, we do approve, obviously, the counterpoint of not approving structures that are outside of the district. We do approve structures that are in the district, which would include the new driveway. I don't know, I don't see exactly, maybe it's on a map or drawing, how far back the proposed this new gate would be back from Lime Street. My guess is that is within 300 feet of the center of Lime Street. So we would need to approve that.
Sure.
Gate.
I've read all that.
We would need to approve the paving of
The farm road.
the farm road.
Yeah.
You say no signs are anticipated at this time, but if there are signs, permanent signs, we would need to approve them, and we also need to approve temporary signs, but we can sort of do that in advance. But for all of those things, we need specifications of materials and heights and samples of material and all the little minutia, if you will, to get a complete picture of what you're proposing.
That does, this is just a question. We'd be prepared to do whatever's necessary, but does that include, when you say temporary signage, Sean, does that mean signage that lets people know about the construction process in motion, or to sort of provide direction for when you enter so that you don't interfere with construction equipment? Or are you talking something that's
any signage would need to come before us?
Yeah, I mean, I can speak a little bit to that. In addition to the application, there was a set of drawings that were submitted that indicate the boundary of the Historic District Commission and limits.
Right.
So there is a new driveway that is partially within that extent. That is going to be a chip seal surface drive. I know that was a question that came up when we met last, kind of informally, whether it was asphalt or chip seal. It's a chip seal driveway, and there's also drawings of the proposed gate. We don't have material samples, but there is details and description of the gate in that set of drawings. So I'm trying to get on the screen unsuccessfully.
Okay, I know you had sent something in that showed the boundary of the historic district.
Maybe that's our
one clarification is if a structure is partly within and partly outside the district, we do have jurisdiction. So I'm sure you wouldn't be changing the surface of the driveway for the portion that goes out, but just we would do that all at once.
Yeah, so the majority of the new driveway is outside, beyond the line of the Historic District Commission, but it does kind of clip and extend beyond. We do not propose changing the first, 75 feet of driveway that is existing. I can, the drawings will be instructive if we can get them done on here today.
It's in 4.
Yeah. Worked last time.
That's wrong. It's this one.
So maybe it's not 4.
Plug that back in because that just came on. It comes up automatically. There we go. It is 4. And you're on there?
I'm trying to screen here. I can just restart my computer. Sometimes you gotta go with the nuclear option. and we'll see what happens, but. So sorry for that application.
So, I mean, in terms of the major work, the building.
Yeah.
That's clearly outside the district. If the building department or zoning needs a statement from us affirming the fact that we are not, that we don't have jurisdiction over that matter, we can provide it, but it should be obvious. So, you know, we can. I'm a bit reluctant to approve the gate, you know, the things that are inside the district today without a bit of more specifics.
The gate is outside of the boundary barely, but I mean,
I'm sorry, I didn't know that.
but it's very, very close to that line.
Does the fence touch the boundary, across the boundary?
The fence does not.
It does not. Okay.
No. But we do have information about the gate, which may not be, you know, fully fleshed out in the way that you would like it, but, and, you know, it's a, you know, 2 granite posts, it's a cedar gate, bronze, hardware, which I would love to get up on the screen. I'm clearly struggling.
I didn't know you were that far along. I'd forgotten.
Is the cable faulty maybe?
I don't know if there's another cable.
Is there a second cable? Yeah. I mean, it acted like it connected.
I'm restarting this. But there are, you know, architectural details of the gate provided.
Well, if it is in fact outside the district, then
I just put it in one. Maybe
Okay.
that'll make it.
Yeah. Let's see here. Yes. HTML 1.
Yeah, it's like.
Yeah.
Oh,
thank
there
you.
we go.
There you
There. And now we.
Team effort.
I would say it said bedroom on his computer, so if someone's using this as a bedroom TV, just FYI. It didn't say like conference room, it was a little confusing. I think
Yeah, that's me.
that's
That's me, I think.
So I can.
Uh-oh. Did I do something wrong?
Well, it's not there.
There we go. There we go.
So it's a very subtle line on this drawing here, but there is a kind of a pink colored line here, then it steps back. So it isn't, this property isn't a uniform 300-foot offset from
Right.
street in the center line of the street. So it does this. This is the gate here, and there is a fence on either side of the gate. And this is the proposed new road. So where that ties into the existing driveway is within, you know, between the road and that line, that limit. But the majority of the new drive and the gate are beyond that line. And
so. Are you going to propose? Where's Lime Street?
Down there at the bottom.
Okay.
Yeah.
So from Lime Street up to where the new park branches off, are you leaving that asphalt?
Our plan is to leave, to leave this as is and not resurface it.
So it's really just so the farm road portion. Well, point the gate to me.
So the gate is right here.
Okay, and towards Lime Street from the gate, how far would this resurfacing that's shown extend? Just to the place where the new driveway branches off?
We would, so the existing driveway comes in here, we're gonna cut it and transition to the new farm lane. But that won't be resurfaced, just where this new drive ties in, kind of from that
Just
line.
it barely.
So it's really just that
barely
little
touches it.
little corner. Okay, so
Yeah.
I mean, if it's what more is there to be said about chip seal if you want us to approve that today? I guess we could.
I mean, I think
And
it's-
save signages for later, once you know.
Yeah.
What
When we know more.
I mean, I don't think there's, and even then, I don't anticipate the museum changing its signage out front. The only signage during the construction that would happen would be on Halls Road.
Halls Road.
Okay.
And that would be temporary construction signage of saying, but that's outside your.
Stay north of the 300 foot,
Right,
or not north,
yeah,
west.
I have a question, John. If one part of the driveway configuration is in the historic district, would that include the gate and the remainder of the driveway as well? Because if one part is in the district, then all of it, then the district has whatever,
Yeah,
can comment on all of it.
Like a structure, like if one part of it's.
So that means we
Yeah, I
could
think
comment
that- I
on the
think
gate.
that's true with the new driveway. That portion is in the historic district, so we should approve whatever the finish is, I mean, the chip seal for that driveway, but the gate and the work on refashioning the farmland lane is outside the district. So I find it hard to say that's all part of the driveway that is in the district.
Is it possible to resurface the driveway from the street to the new lane and have it look continuous
Right.
and not patchwork?
Well, since there's something existing and they're not proposing changing what's existing, we can't.
or that's.
He's asking the question.
But it's a good point. I mean,
It's a good question.
that section of the road is, like any road will need maintenance and upgrading at some point. And
Right.
so it is quite possible that we'll have to come back to you for another certificate, to do that part of the, fix, repair, update that part of the driveway. But at this point, it's not
included.
included.
I think Ed makes a good point, though. It'd be nice that the design is thought of holistically so that at some point that becomes one piece.
I think that would probably happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it regular asphalt right now?
Yes.
Is that what it
Yeah.
is? Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's going to need work.
I mean, there are other we're happy to just share ideas as provide a sounding board, but we just don't have any say. We talked, for example, last meeting about the proposed stone wall and having more natural stone, but if you all want to do what you've got in the picture instead, we sort of grit our teeth and say, okay, well, it's outside the district.
It is a more rustic wall than I think was shown in that one image when we spoke last, just to bring you up to speed, and I can go to that picture if it's helpful.
But I mean, to your point, John, I think in the same way, the museum wants the sort of town to like and appreciate what we've done with it, or plan to.
Right.
Here was the image that was commented on. That was a much kind of tighter version of a stone wall, and this is a bit more rustic. Of a rustic field stone application, similar to this, this image. I think it's maybe a better rendition of how we envision that wall. More farm-like than, contemporary.
The pavers, are there two different types there? Is that?
Yeah, there's a combination on the left of this image are granite kind of slabs.
Okay.
And then the pedestrian walkway is kind of a seeded concrete with exposed aggregate. So it's not stone pavers all the way through. There's
Okay.
a combination of granite slabs and then this exposed aggregate concrete. And the aggregate is Connecticut granite. Yeah, so we would use that aggregate would
There's no
be
reason.
granite that matches the granite slabs that we're using.
And is there lighting within this path and lane? Or
There is lighting on the pedestrian walkways. It's not shown in the rendering. There's bollards just to kind of wash the walking surface. And then in the parking areas, there are pole fixtures that go between 12 and 16 feet in height. And the planning board will have, or I guess the zoning commission will have purview over that. And we're meeting with them tonight, actually.
And I think lighting is it's a neighborly thing in that you're still in a residential neighborhood. So anything to think about relative to the lighting for the main building and the time of day and the operation of that. Again, this is out of the historic district, but
Sure.
you're still in a neighborhood. So
Sensitive.
yeah.
Yeah, I think the goal is to provide the amount of lighting we need for safety for staff and patrons, but the minimum required to meet that.
They're focused on that safety part, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not kind of showy lighting. It's really just about marking pathways. and things like that.
The River Commission had some of the same concerns, especially with uplighting, and we said, no.
Pete, I'm sorry, I can't hear. Sorry, couldn't hear.
No, I was saying, the River Commission had some of the same concerns. They were mentioning, a desire to not have anything that represented uplighting, particularly for the parking lots. So they felt as though that interferes with all sorts of things.
Kind of the dark sky mentality
Yes.
of design. And it is both for the river, but also it's a residential neighborhood. So,
In terms of what we could do today officially, would anyone need more details about the proposed chip seal? Yes.
We don't have a C of A that, maybe I'm not reading it right.
what
Well,
color is the stone?
The C of A refers generally to the full proposal, but we could act on the part of it that has to do with the driveway if we want.
I think because this is such a major project that is so proximity to the historic district, I think there needs to be a clear line of what we have jurisdiction over and what we don't. And it might be helpful that there's a map that shows that. I'm reluctant to vote on the C of A for the entire project.
No, we can't.
I know, but that's what's been submitted. So I think as a matter of process that we really clarify what it is we're voting. And I don't know if we can modify this C of A to do that.
Well,
Or here, or
we can say that we approve the driveway and add a statement that we're not approving anything else because it's not within our jurisdiction.
that might work.
My question is, if we go ahead and approve the chip seal, do we need more? Do people want more information about color? Size? So, I think the way to go then is this application is dated.
Signed on the 27th,
What? I'm sorry.
signed on the 27th of October.
October 27th. So, if you could want to come in with the details about the chip seal for next meeting, we can do that. Otherwise, I would say just, it might be, as Russ suggested, cleaner if you just withdraw this and come in with a C of A application that refers only to matters that are
In the district.
in the district.
I would suggest that the museum gets your approval or your statement that you don't have jurisdiction over anything but that. And I would recommend they submit this exactly as they submitted it, but with more information if you want. I think for everyone's protection, it's better for you to say, we approved this part of the COA and this is all we have
I'm sorry, I hadn't focused on.
Yes, we do have in detail, and there was kind of an appendix to the 8.5 by 11 application that included drawings And this is the chip seal detail for the new roadway surface that we're proposing. It doesn't specify a color, but it does give you the kind of composition of that material and how it's going to be constructed.
Are you leaning more toward the browns or the grays and the stone?
It would be leaning more towards the grays than the browns. We've got cobbles and other kind of gray materials on the projects. We'd want to kind of complement those.
I think,
but that's, up for discussion, certainly.
I have one
I'm
more.
going to declare a general consensus based on Carolyn's comments and Russ's comments, Carolyn's questions and Russ's comments, that what we do today is ask you to withdraw this, simply come in with something that refers specifically and only to this, and include colors or color options that you're considering.
Yeah.
We're happy at any time to provide a letter saying that based on our conversations, our understanding is that only the new driveway or portion of it is in historic district, and other things are outside our jurisdiction.
My understanding from the planning group is that they're going to want that as some sort of letter, some sort of
statement from the historic commission.
Let Russ and I fashion a letter to that effect, and we'll direct it to whom? I guess you and you.
To whom it may concern.
To I guess maybe directed to copy zoning and planning.
I would make it to the zoning and reference application of the museum.
Right.
And in regards to the application of the museum, dear planning, we, the Historic District Commission, blah, 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 blah. But I wouldn't make it to the museum because it's.
We in order to write that accurately, we need from you, and maybe we have it, a clear drawing indicating the scope of work that is specifically in the district and a scope of work that's outside of the district, almost like in the contractor language, outside of scope.
Yeah.
And maybe it's your site plan that.
Yeah, there is a line demarcating that kind of this line here, but we can submit that more clearly and edit the application to be as focused on what's in your jurisdiction.
And I think that'll be helpful with this letter, because when the zoning sees it, they're like, well, what do you mean historic district? Most people would assume that this project is within the historic district. So I think a clear map that shows that.
I think this would be
right. I was gonna say,
perfect.
like, if we had a copy of
We could
that.
attach that to the letter. If you could just pull out that page and send.
But shade it.
Yeah, we can make it
shade
abundantly clear so they know what you're also.
So it's easy.
Right,
Yeah.
so we know exactly what's in, what's out.
Yeah.
Happy to do that.
Great.
One more question. I'm looking at the estimated start date and wondering if the driveway is included in the work that's going to begin in March 2026.
I think we've decided that the driveway will be part of phase 2.
That's
And
what
that we'll be using the hall's entry with permissions to get equipment onto the site and allow people to leave like they normally would for all sorts of reasons. But it made more sense for everybody, including the contractor, that rather than sort of traipsing through the entire property while they're building a road, to just simply use the hall's access. It's a great question, Carolyn. Thank you. Because I know that that's been in both versions.
I'm looking one other question. So I'm looking at the boundary and specifics. It looks like it's true. Am I reading that this is the boundary line? So anything that's happening here is also part of the district, correct?
Correct.
And this is the farm. This is the drive. This is plantings. This element here.
Right. So I can go. Let me flip to the existing plan just to give you a sense of what's.
Sure.
This is the demo plan. So there is an existing pedestrian walkway here that will be maintained. There are parking spaces that serve the two barns. Those will be removed when we transition over to the farm lane. But those parking spaces are just outside of that limit of the Historic District Commission. So everything to the right of that line will be preserved as is. We're not
There's
proposing
no demolition of sidewalks.
any demolition or change.
Right.
All the work is, I mean, it's not deliberate necessarily, but all the work is happening just beyond that line.
Yeah, yeah.
We're wiping out the parking spaces and
And
planting.
what's the bottom center gray area with the two black dots inside it?
This is just showing tree protection because this is the demolition plan. There's two existing trees here that will be preserved, but they want to make sure that there's no activity too close to those trees.
Okay.
Right.
I suspect we're gonna want to come back to the other, COA for this, because this walkway, if you've been on it, you know that it needs
Attention,
work,
repairs,
attention,
right.
but that's, and that might be something where you ask them to do a chip seal to match. And,
Right.
to your point, to match everything,
Mhm, mhm.
get rid of the asphalt, which would frankly probably last longer for the institution too.
Okay, so we're clear. I hope that if you could send us or send Martha that diagram with any shading you could add that more clearly identifies the historic district. That's number one. Number two, are you agreeable to withdrawing this C of A application and then resubmitting one for the chip seal? If it's not immediate, doesn't have to be submitted. There's not going to be a problem, but we do, for the record, need as much detail as we can get, including color, proposed color.
So how long does the COA last? If you approve it, but they don't get to phase two, we don't get to phase two for another 3 years. I'm just
Well,
wondering.
usually, typically it lasts for a year.
A year,
So if you
okay.
do it now, then you're going to have to come back in a year and seek a renewal. And so
Right.
it may make sense for you just to wait. But when you're ready,
Yeah.
resubmit that.
But you were prepared to do a letter to the planning.
Yes, and that's the third thing. And then
Yeah.
as soon as we get this, we will send a letter to, you're not going before the planning commission, are you? Just zoning?
It's zoning, yeah, it's a special permit through the zoning.
Submit a letter to zoning and basically copy you, copy the building department too, just so they have it on file.
Yeah, because that's usually what they won't even, that's one of the check marks they need.
Because you technically have to check you have work in the district because you do have this.
Right.
So they're like, well, where's your
Correct.
district approval?
Right.
Right,
And then it'd be conditional on approval of the chip seal when we get to that
right.
point.
Yeah, I mean, that would be the only reason the COA approved for the chip seal.
That's right. So there's a technicality there and
Back to
in order to move forward with the zoning, HDC has to approve first. So does the letter suffice? It's not a C of A at that point. Does that suffice to allow the other
The zoning's not
process
gonna have anything to say about the driveway surface.
No, I'm saying that as part of the process, like, in order for me to pull a building permit on the house remodel we just did, we have to have a historic district approval first, because we check that we're in the historic district.
Right.
They're checking they're in the historic district
Well,
in order to
this
prove.
letter will clarify it. I mean, we've done similar things
Right.
in the past. Zoning has requested building permit. It turned out to be just a like replacement, which we don't formally approve, and we
Okay.
just send a notice that things are okay with us, basically.
Okay.
We probably still want to get the COA though, sooner than later for that for this little sliver right here. Just because of the technicalities.
Right.
Yeah. Then we'll renew.
So,
And we'll just,
and we would come back and renew.
And I mean, I guess, a debatable question, but it's pretty clear that, let's say, if we have a C of A request for the house, Old Lyme in its lack of wisdom years ago said the historic district doesn't include the full property, it just goes back 300 feet. Right? But it's pretty clear that if the house is partly within and partly without, we have jurisdiction over the whole house or the whole re-roofing or whatever it is that's requested. So by analogy, we would actually approve the entire driveway because new driveway ceiling, and you're not going to change it anyway, but it's partly within and partly without.
Yeah, I mean, we wouldn't do just what you said here and then change it there.
Exactly.
I mean,
So
yeah.
it doesn't really matter, but
Right.
I think when we approve it, we would just approve the driveway.
Yeah.
So
John, I have a question also, a comment. My question is, when you apply to zoning, will you be applying for zoning approval of phase 1 and phase 2 or only phase 1?
Phase 1 and 2.
Phase 1 and 2. Thank you. And my comment is about thinking back to the wall after you showed us the image of the way in which you had reconfigured or reconsidered the stone. Yes, that one. I was wondering, just this would impact cost, but it's also just an aesthetic comment. I wonder if you've considered not installing wooden gates, either one of them, because they're not really needed, and because the phase 2 design doesn't really suggest a farmyard, and the lawn doesn't really suggest a farmyard. So what I'm asking is, how would it look if there were no gate there, and if the wall were actually perhaps closer to what a natural stone wall, a field stone wall would look like? It would save money. The gates they don't serve any purpose. They're just an aesthetic, design.
These are one important purpose.
And so if you just had an opening, a stone wall, and then an opening through it, and the stone wall could perhaps be lower, which would, I think, maybe be more appealing, and also, of course, it cuts cost a little bit. Just a thought.
That's actually a really interesting thought. I think that the thinking was, too, is that the farm road would be maintained but kept, but structured in a way to keep, most vehicle from going down there, but be available for emergency equipment. That's the access to the front of the museum with emergency.
We need a gate there.
Yeah, the gate here was really all about safety.
Yeah.
And we did have lots of consideration. There were the pro-gate, anti-gate crowd. In the end, we decided to do the gate, but leave half of it open most of the time. We could close it off completely, but the fear was
vehicles going down.
Yeah, and the whole intent here is to make this a safer pedestrian access and get cars out of there. And so that said, we also recognize that there would be times that we would need to have vehiclers down there. So that's why the gate was there. But Carolyn, to your point about their gate and keeping the stone wall lower, I think that's a really great idea.
And the only other comment I have about the stone wall is if you move to a more original or natural look, I'm all in favor of that, but you have to be really careful because they're not that stable.
Right.
I got frost heaves and you're in that area where you don't want a kid climbing on the wall.
I should say, you just
collapses on walls.
That's my main concern is having had now off to college, but when my son was younger, any wall he saw, he thought that was the playground.
Okay, so signal's clear? Yes?
Yeah, terrific.
And just for the record, confirmation that on the understanding we provide the letter and do the things we talked about, you will officially withdraw this application for C of A.
Yeah.
And
Martha, that's just a letter
more
to you,
focused.
right? Just a quick letter to you.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, I have experience with that already, so yes.
All right. Great, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone, very much.
Beautiful.
Next item on the agenda is a renewal of 38 Lime Street C of A. Martha, do you have any communications from David?
Yes, yes. He's been away. He's still working on the house. Mostly the septic system. That's the little piece that's being that he's still actively working on, and the railings that we approved.
So that's what the renewal would be for.
Yeah. Railings and the main thing for the house, because there's that little piece that's still not quite finished. Basically, the house is done.
You know, and this, how long have I been on this commission? This is a project that I think predated that.
But it started in 2018.
Okay, well, maybe I was on the commission before that. I don't think so. Okay, is there a motion to renew the C of A for 38 Lime Street?
I'll make a motion.
Russ moves. Is
I'll
there a
second.
second? Deb seconds. Okay, the motion on the floor, Ed, is to approve a renewal of the 38 Lime Street C of A for the railing.
Is that a forever?
Well, that was just
Seems
my
to be.
question
Seems
while
to be.
you were out of it.
Until we change our mind.
Yeah, the railings were just approved a year ago.
Yes,
So this is the first renewal for the railings, step railings. But it's the
clapboards are going up maybe 2 every 2 weeks.
Winter's coming
I
too.
mean, do we haven't, is that the only one we're renewing today? Is the
we
railing?
should just renew the original one too, I think. Just so
Me too.
we're not gonna make them stop doing anything, so.
No,
You
it
know,
would
we
just
want
would
to
be
get-
nice to.
Right.
I don't know that we have
It's
any
just a
leverage, but
rubbish
nice to nudge him along. Anyway, I understand he's been out of town and
Well, I think the
he works
septic,
on it as time permits.
the septic system has been a major issue
Right.
because there's wetlands back there.
Yeah.
And it has to be, they can't fill in the wetlands, so they have to engineer it around.
You had to relocate as well. As
Yeah,
well.
Wow.
it's been
Okay.
a lot, I think way more than they anticipated at the beginning, so.
Okay, further discussion on the motion. So we actually are renewing C of A's plural. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Deb is not here. So the motion carries. Okay, folks, we're at 11 o'clock. And there's still things to do. I know Martha has to leave.
I have to leave also.
And Carolyn has to leave. Of the remaining items, the only one I really need reactions to, if you have them, has to do with the Amtrak request for information. I sent around that information before, and I don't know of any historic properties within the proposed right-of-way area of improvement. But if you do, let me know. And the core question is, do you agree with the proposal to respond generally to Amtrak saying, we don't have jurisdiction over this particular project, but appreciate being on the list, and also that was part one, and my other proposal was just to send this to or send a note to planning in case they have not received the information from Amtrak, and tell them that we propose, or that we will be suggesting that they place the planning commission on their distribution. distribution list.
Yeah, I haven't seen anything for planning as I'm an alternate on.
Oh,
Haven't seen anything come through.
okay. So,
Did Amtrak request that we review? I mean, I'm just,
they
Right.
give us the option to review, and the review is and comment has to do with all sorts of things. I mean, it comments on historic properties that might be affected by their work and erecting these safety fences. There may be no such fences that are erected in Old Lyme. I don't know, but
Sounds like they're gonna put the same kind of fence as they have in Niantic along the right of way between the boardwalk and the residential property on the other side.
um,
And that's a tall fence.
it is a tall fence and it's visible for a while, but again,
it's outside of our district.
it's not officially in our district. B, we comment on historic houses when asked to. That was Griswold Point, for example, but I don't know of any historic houses that are within the lines or immediately adjacent to it. That's what they requested information on. But they also requested on, please send us names of other entities that may want to be kept apprised of proposals. That's why I would suggest writing them and mentioning planning. I mean, you're an alternate,
Yes.
Is this the sort of thing I would think it would be that planning might at least want to eyeball if.
Yeah, I hesitate on writing anything that pushes Amtrak away from us in terms of sharing information. It's like once you get,
That would be my lead.
You too.
We appreciate it
Right.
and want to
Right.
be kept.
No, but not just appreciate. I think that's the,
right,
that's the, oh, well, they appreciate it, but they don't need it. So if we could state it in a way that, thank you, and here's our recommendation that you go to planning or whatever our recommend, but take
Right.
off the,
Well,
I agree with
or,
Russ.
I mean, bad choice of words, but indicate we look forward to receiving future communications about any other work that Amtrak
Right.
is proposing.
you don't want to get off their list.
Exactly.
You want to stay on this. Yeah, stay on the list.
It's not optional, but,
Yeah.
obligatory, as much as we can phrase it that
This
way.
is going to be brief, Carolyn, if I may, maybe I'll share with you and.
Sure, absolutely.
Well, I'll just share a draft with anyone, but
Yeah.
we need to send something by the 23rd, so. Well, we can keep going if you want, but it's 11:03 and I don't know that anything else is essential. We keep pushing realtor signs and demolition discussion down the road, but
Did we approve meeting minutes from last?
Yeah.
yes.
Before you
That-
came
that
to,
before you
Okay.
came.
Yeah.
no, that's okay. We did.
You're only gonna have three. I think we should probably adjourn. Everyone can.
No, we have five,
But they had to leave now, I thought.
well, right. Carolyn needs to leave and Martha needs to leave.
Right.
So, I mean, we need to wrap things up.
I suggest we defer the things that are not essential for discussing today until a future meeting.
Why don't, let Ed and I just give a brief discussion, very brief, of what we learned at the meeting, and maybe we'll wrap it with that. Because,
Excuse me, but, Martha, are you okay just submitting a written report that will be included in the minutes?
Yes, of course.
I actually
It's just a list.
did have one question, but go ahead.
I just wanted to, and we can discuss demolition guidelines later, but one of the things that Ed and I learned is that if there is a structure in a national registered district, which this is national registered
Yes.
and Griswold Point is nationally registered. if that structure contributes to the national registration of that district, then any citizen has standing to prevent demolition of that structure.
It's great.
The language says any person or organization, including the commission, can sue anyone to prevent the unreasonable destruction of historic structures and landmarks.
Great.
That, and then they enumerate.
That's a state statute that applies to national registered areas. So anything in district or Griswold County
Wow, okay.
falls under that.
And that house is clearly included as a contributing structure in the national designation. of
Yes,
Griswold
This
Point.
is statutory.
That's the
That's great.
Statutory, yeah.
If you can sense, or is it in the materials of?
No, you can fix it. I took it off the website.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Um,
Is that verbatim the statute?
Yeah.
And so
which,
it just, if you sue, if you file a lawsuit, do you automatically prevent it and you have to?
this doesn't look like, this does not look like statutory language.
No.
Oh,
But I assume this is a statutory reference. We can check one. I mean, while we're on the topic, just in the back of your brains, we've got three things we could do. Any of the three, or all of the three, or two of the three, as I see it. And you may have other ideas. One is to develop some demolition guidelines. Not as perhaps as detailed as the signage guidelines. We have authority, as was discussed with the fence today. We are required to approve any demolition or removal of a historic structure. So we can, if not stop things, attach all sorts of conditions. But I think if somebody is contemplating demolition, it would be helpful to have some guidelines about, if you come in, we want to know that you have first contacted SHPO and explored options for preservation or movement and.
well, we saw how that worked with the Children's Center.
Exactly. The second thing that could be done is, in addition to a historic district, the next section of the statute talks about a commission with jurisdiction over historic houses, like C of A for historic houses, even if they're not in a district. And that function can, depending on what a board of selectmen wants, if you're applying for that authority, that can be a new commission, or that work can be delegated to the Historic District Commission. So we have to think about whether we want to propose to have jurisdiction over not just properties in the historic district, but over historic properties in town that are outside the district. And the third thing is, the Preservation Connecticut has proposed a draft town ordinance to provide for more extensive jurisdiction over historic houses, but without creating a separate new commission. So we have some options to explore.
And can I say off the record that this is off the record because it's just hearsay, but Matt Griswold did come to my house the other day and said that the boys were not going to demolish because of the recommendation of, I think, Preservation Connecticut. So that's just what the father said. That doesn't reflect, I haven't talked to the boys, but anyway, it's encouraging. That's his information.
I guess the reason I wanted to at least bring this up was, is there any urgency to have us pass anything that would help stop a demolition process?
Yes.
In other words,
Yes.
And do we need to pass something very quickly to do that, whether it's this meeting or the next meeting?
Yes.
Yes.
Not this, I don't think we're ready now,
Got it.
but the next meeting, I suggest that John prepare some language or that together
Right.
you prepare some language for something that we can discuss and hopefully pass.
I agree 100%. And I think right now it's the state, the stuff that Ed and I discovered through the presentation, that there's state, regulations that are currently enforced along with whatever we have now that would, if anything were to come up in the next 30 days, we should bring that to the property owner's attention if it were to happen in the next 30 days within the historic district.
Oh, yeah. I mean, and before there's any demolition or removal of property, they have to have a C of A to remove things. So if you get wind of something in the plans, say, you submit an application to us, we can put the brakes on, tap the brakes even right now.
Right. Okay.
And it could include outbuildings as well.
Any structure.
Okay.
Okay, hopefully we can get to some of these other things next meeting. Thanks to everybody. Thanks for your patience with me. Deanie did more things than you know, so a bit of a scramble today, so. Anyway.
Well, I'm here to help, so.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I will spend a couple minutes talking to Martha, but I will come up with a draft letter and share it for the museum. And a draft letter to and
traffic. Right.
Is there a motion to adjourn? Ed moves, so moved.
I second.
You have a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Thank you very much.